Hello, this is your boy Bill Eshkababa, and today I'm here to talk about a game that's really important to me, which I love playing every day, and that is Hearthstone. So I've been playing Hearthstone since the beta. I love the game, and there's been a big change that's going to come to Hearthstone, and I'm probably sure that anyone who's watching this or hearing this loves Hearthstone, so they've already heard opinions from Trump and Companion and the big guys who are much more experienced than me, because I'm just your average Joe. I play it daily. I get to around rank 5, rank 4 each month, but that's about it. I'm not like into the hardcore, tournaments and stuff like that. I'm just an average guy. So for people who don't know, there's going to be a change to Hearthstone where a new format is coming in. It is called Standard. And what Standard is that cards are going to, old expansions are going to leave Standard. So the first year, which they are calling the Year of the Kraken, Standard will remove both Goblins and Gnomes and Naxxramas. So they are being removed from the store as well, so you cannot buy them anymore. You can still, but once the seasons come in, it's being removed. So Goblins and Gnomes and Curse of Naxxramas will not be part of Standard. What will be part of Standard will be the basic set, the classic set, Black Rock Mountain, the Grand Tournament, the League of Explorers, and the new Spring expansion. Then next year, Black Rock Mountain and the Grand Tournament will leave also Standard. So each year, the cards are going to be out. So that's what they're doing. Now, there's going to be Wild format. Now, Wild format is what you are playing now. And so you can still use your Dr. Boom and your Piloted Shredder in Wild format. But your friends will only see your rank of the new Standard format. And all tournaments, so Trump and Companion, when they play in tournaments, will be played in Standard. So Standard is the official play now, and Wild is more like just a mode to have fun in. Now, some people are really angry at this. Now, I don't like this change. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I don't like this change, but I see why they did it. Basically, they want to keep adding more and more cards, and you can't add more cards without focusing on the old cards. And because there's going to be a lot more cards, it gets to the point where it's really hard to balance everything. So the easiest way is just to remove cards and then add new cards. So when they do the spring expansion, they don't have to worry about Piloted Shredder, because Piloted Shredder is not going to be in Standard. So Trump, when he goes to a championship, he can't play Piloted Shredder. So they don't have to worry about that card. They don't have to worry about Sludge Belcher. They don't have to worry about Death Bite. They don't have to worry about these cards. They don't have to worry about Dr. Boom or Mal'Ganis or something like that, because they're out. That's why they're doing it. But for people who have spent a lot of money on the game, they're pretty annoyed, because you are not going to get full crafting dust from dechanting Goblins vs. Gnome pack. So I spent 1,600 dust on Dr. Boom. If I disenchant him to play just Standard, I'm only going to get 400 dust. That's it. You're not going to get the full value back. So people are angry about that. People are also angry that Wild is going to be basically Wild. It's going to be ignored. So Blizzard will make a card which might give so much more power to, let's say, Piloted Shredder, and they're not going to care about that, because in Standard, Piloted Shredder is not a thing. So they don't have to care about it affecting Wild, because Wild's just a mode for people like me and other casual people to play. The hardcore players, the Trumps and the Companions of the world who are in tournaments, they don't play Piloted Shredder anymore, because it's not in Standard, and they're playing tournaments, and tournaments is Standard now. So Wild's just going to be left just to rot, basically, with who cares about cards that buff other cards, because they're not going to have Sludge Belchers. They're not going to have that in Standard. Also, a lot of people have a concern, and me too, is this just a way for Blizzard to sell us the same cards again? Which a lot of people have been posting this up on the forums, and the developers or the community managers and the forums have been a bit dismissive of the people's concerns. I found that quite disturbing, that they are basically just saying, deal with it. This is how it's going to be, and I know that I'm going to have to deal with it because I'm going to keep playing the game. So I'm a bit of a hypocrite, but I'm not happy with the changes. I understand why they did it, but doesn't mean I have to be happy about the changes. The problem is that will they sell us cards that are basically the same, which they are taking out? So let's say Piloted Shredder or Healbot, Antique Healbot. Let's say Antique Healbot, which is a 5 mana, 5 cost, 3/3 heals for 8. Well, are they going to just do a new card in the new expansion? Because Antique Healbot's out, because it's Goblins and Gnomes, so it's out of standard, it's out of tournament play. Will they just make a card which is, let's say, not a mech, and is 4 cost instead of 5 cost, and it's, let's say, a 2/3 and heals for 6? Well, that's basically the same card. They just tweaked a few things. And some people are mad because as much as people say, well, this happens in Magic the Gathering or in Pokemon tournament, Pokemon cards, or Yu-Gi-Oh! Those are actual physical cards. This is not. This is a digital card game. So if they feel that, let's say, Antique Healbot's too overpowered, that's just an example, okay? They could change him for a 4 cost, 4/2, and even take the mech tag out. They could do that. They don't have to remove him and then redo it, but that seems what they are doing. So if cards come out which are like almost like Sludge Belcher 2.0 and Dr. Boom 2.0, and just cards which are really similar, then what was the point of this? You're just removing, let's say, Antique Healbot, which is a 5/3/3 heals for 8, and placing a new card which is not a mech and is 4/3/3 and heals for 6. It's basically the same card. You could have done that to Antique Healbot. You don't have to scrap everyone's cards, because this also incentivizes people to buy a lot more cards, because new players will come into the game, they will play the standard, so they don't have to worry about Nexramus, they don't have to worry about Dr. Boom and the Goblins vs. Gnome people, but they are forced to buy the new expansions, and then next year a new expansion will come out and Blackrock Mountain and the Grand Tournament will be removed, so they'll have to buy another expansion, and they won't go to Wild, because Wild will be just a lot of more powerful people that have Dr. Booms and have all these crazy cards. So they'll have to be forced to buy the next expansion, and they can't disenchant their old expansions. They can disenchant like Blackrock Mountain, but they're getting very little dust, not enough to hold the holes, fill in the holes of the cards that they're taking out. So they have to buy more cards and more expansions. So it becomes like a loop where you have to keep up, whereas now, let's say TGT came out, you don't really have to buy those cards, because there are very few cards that you need from it, because you have Mad Scientist, you have these cards, you don't need any of these other ones. The only one that really sees play of the legendaries is Jessica Trueheart. I mean, even Varian Rin saw some play in Warrior, but now it's out. Like, I see very few of them. So Hunter doesn't need anything. Druid hasn't needed anything since basically basic set. So it now forces you to keep up with the new expansions, because no more Mad Scientist, no more Death Bite, no more Shield Maiden. They're gone, and that's big. That's a big loss. But you got to suck it up. On the positive side, more deck slots. It's going up to 18. That's fantastic. Yeah, but just big changes coming in for Hearthstone, and you're gonna have to just deal with it. And even if you don't like it, so give me your opinion, what you think about the new changes, and are you happy? Are you excited, or does this disappoint you? because there's also going to be a lot, not a lot, but yes, a pretty lot, around 20 to 25 cards that Blizzard says they will be nerfing from the basic set. So we can all look towards Force of Nature, Savage Roar for the Druids. That is definitely getting a nerf, definitely. But who knows what else will be getting a nerf. I would actually like to see them buff up some cards that have been useless. Like, one of my favorite cards is Nosh Dormu, the one that speeds up time, the dragon. 8/8 and speeds up time. I would like to see him get a buff. I would like his ability to be, even when he's dead, the clock is still quick. Like, you still have to play in that time. I would like him to get a buff, something like that, because he doesn't see play, and I think he's a fantastic card. So that's my opinions. Write down in the comments if you think I'm completely crazy, if you think this is the best thing ever, or if you think this is the worst thing ever. And this is your boy, Bilishkova, out.